All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the new lesson here, solving equations with radicals. So we're kind of taking a little bit of a turn here. We're using rational expressions and adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, simplifying them, and then also solving equations with rational expressions. But now we're going to look at stuff with equations with square roots and cube roots and how to solve those. Okay, you should have your unbounded lesson, a student version. Lesson in front of you. So again, if you don't have that, make sure you get that from your teacher. All right, here we go. So for these exercises, we're supposed to describe each step taken to solve the equation, then check the solution to see if it is valid. If it is not a valid solution, explain why. Okay, so let's take a look here at this. So I'm going to talk you through it here, but basically what we did here is if we look at number 1, right, we're trying to get the x by itself. That's what we normally do whenever we solve these, any equation, right? For the radical equations, a key step here that you want to think about, okay, is you want to isolate the radical. Okay, isolate means to get by itself, right? So we want to get the radical by itself. And that's what we're doing right here. To get rid of to get this radical, the root x by itself, we get rid of the minus x by adding the 6 to both sides. And that creates this 10. And then how do you get rid of a square root? What undoes a square root? Well, the idea is we square both sides. And then you get x equals 100 because 10 squared is 100. Okay, does this make sense in the problem? Well, let's check it out, right? If I take the square root of 100 and I subtract 6, do I get 4? Well, the square root of 100 is 10. Minus 6 equals 4. So check, that works. Okay, number 2, you can see the difference here is we now have a cube root. So we'd still add the 6 to both sides to isolate the radical. We get this. How do you undo a cube root? Remember, over here, to get rid of a square root, we squared both sides. So what should we do here? Well, cube root, so we'll cube both sides. We get x equals 1,000. And you can plug it in for x right there. Cube root of 1,000 minus 6 equals 4. Does it, right? So this is going to be just, is just going to be 10 minus 6. So we get 4 equals 4. Check. It works. Let's try number 3. Actually, you know what? You guys go ahead. Try number 3. Try number 4. See what you can come up with there. Okay. Hopefully you pause the video. If not, please do pause the video. Try it on your own. It's super important for you to be able to practice on your own. So again, pause the video, and then we'll go over it. All right. So again, there's our radical. We want to get that by itself. So we'll do that by subtracting 6 on both sides. Okay. So we're left with the square root of x equals negative 2. Now what do we do from here? Well, to get rid of a square root, we square both sides. So get x equals 4. Okay. Number 4. Now what? Same thing, right? Isolate the radical. So negative 2, cube both sides. So you get x equals, and negative 2 cubed is negative 8. There's our answer. Again, we should check these, right? So you can plug the 4 back in. So it'll be root 4 plus 6 equals 4. Does it, right? So we get 2 plus 6 equals 4. And wait a minute. Is that true? No, it's not. So this is not a solution. Okay? All right, good to know. What about this one right here? Does this work? Okay, so we plug negative 8 in for the cube root. Okay, cube root of negative 8 is negative 2. Oops, plus 6, and that is true. Okay, so negative 8 does work. Okay, so be on the lookout for more extraneous solutions. Okay, you want to check your answers back in the original equation. All right, we'll do one more here, and then we'll call it a video. We'll stop the video. All right, again, the directions are to solve the radical equation. Be sure to check your solutions, like we did up here for example 3, exercise 3. So isolate the radical. Now you can see here the radical has more going on inside of it. That's okay. Don't fret. We'll still just get rid of the 2 by adding, or minus 2 by adding 2 to both sides. We'll have the root 3x plus 5. Negative 2, 1 plus 2 is 1. Now we'll get rid of the square root because all this stuff here, the 3x and the plus 5, are all underneath the square root. So we'll get rid of it by squaring both sides. And and we end up with 3x plus 5 equals 1. Well, that's not too shabby, right? Because now we can just subtract 5 on both sides. We get 3x equals negative 4, and divide both sides by 3. We get x equals negative 4 over 3. And there's our answer. Okay, now we want to check it, right? So we'll plug it back in. Minus 2 equals negative 1. And again, what we're looking for here is we're in a square root. Okay, we don't want to take the square root of a negative. Yes, I know we talked about imaginary numbers in previous lessons and stuff like that, but in this case, right, unless we're specified that we're allowed to have imaginary solutions, we typically don't want to take the square root of a negative, and so on and so forth, right? And plus, we can see here that we're equal to a non-imaginary number. So if we get an imaginary number over here, that's not going to equal negative 1, right? Anyway, so 3 times negative 4/3 will be negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5 is going to be 1. So we have the square root of 1 minus 2 equals negative 1. Root 1 is 1. Minus 2 equals negative 1. And check, that works. So we know that answer is right. All right, in the next video, we'll continue on here with these other exercises. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.